All right, everyone, welcome to the On the Line podcast. I'm your host, Noel Alberto, here with my co-host, Oliver Dixon Jefford. Oliver, how you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Good. Another late night of Australian Open, but plenty to talk about in the second round. A lot of upsets or near upsets that happened. So we will start. We'll start on the women's side this time with a lot that went down. So I think one of the first big talking points we have is obviously Simone Halep. She had the ankle injury against Destiny Ayava in the opening round match, but she looked pretty sharp against Eugenie Bouchard, 6-2, 6-2.
Yeah, it's obviously it was like quite bad to see what happened against Destiny Live in the first round. There was a bit of concerns, but yeah, this was a very solid performance considering where Bouchard's ranked now, her recent form. You're looking for the top place to have like a comfortable win against someone around that ranking, and that's exactly what Halep got. She looks very good and yeah, encouraging considering it didn't look like she was being troubled by the ankle at all.
Yeah, and then she plays American Lauren Davis next round, who got through Andrea Petkovic 4-6, 6-0, 6-0. So another match that Halep should get through. Davis is grinder, but I feel that Halep should ease by that and should see the winner of Barty Osaka in the third round. And speaking of Ashley Barty, she came from a set down to beat Camila Giorgi on Rod Laver Arena, and then Naomi Osaka defeats or upsets Alina Vesnina, and I think that'll be a great third round match between those two.
Yeah, it's a really interesting one. They're two of the most talented, I'd say, young players. They're not massively young anymore. I think like Barty's like 21, Osaka's
Yeah,
20.
Osaka's 20.
Yeah, they're both very talented, both potential future slam winners. So it's going to be very interesting, and I'm sure both of them would be relishing a chance to potentially play Halep in the fourth round. I don't think either of them has made the second week of a slam before either, so that's something to play for there as well.
Yeah, I believe, yeah, Barty made three or two third rounds last year, and then Osaka. I think I saw on Twitter. This is her sixth career third round, but yeah, never made it past the second or to the second week, and and we move on to probably one of the biggest talking points so far is the upsets, and uh, your countrywoman Johanna Conta goes down to lucky loser Bernardo Pera. Um, Pera got into the main draw after Margarita Gasparian withdrew from the tournament, signed in as a lucky loser. Defeat she won her opening match against teenager Anna Blinkova, and then really pushed Konta and then took it in straights.
Yeah, this is a real surprise. I didn't see any of this match, unfortunately, but I hear that Conta did not play well, and it is concerning. I mean, she did reach the Wimbledon semi-final last year, but outside of that, her slam results are first round, second round. So she's lost a lot of confidence, I think. I mean, played very well in her first round match, played quite well against Madison Keys back in Brisbane, her opening match of the year, but has not been at her best since Wimbledon. So I think she maybe needs to take a couple of weeks off and try and work out what's going on because this is a match she should have won fairly easy. I mean, full credit to Pera. It's like a huge moment for her. It sounds like she played a very solid match. Obviously, you always have to play quite well to beat someone ranked so much higher than you, no matter how well they play. But yeah, this match Conta should have won. It's a very disappointing loss.
Yeah, it's a tough loss. I believe Konta was defending how
It's the final points.
quarterfinal points. So yeah, so her ranking's gonna take quite a hit, and so yeah, I think you're right. A couple weeks off will do well for her. Obviously, there's next week. There's gonna be St. Petersburg and Taipei when in the or after the Australian Open. So maybe she'll have obviously the second week off of the Australian Open off. Then maybe she'll head into one of those maybe with a fresh mindset and hopefully finds her form.
I think that's something she could potentially look at. Yeah, I don't believe she's entered either of them at the moment, but she might take a wild card.
Yeah. And so we continue. Uh, so you talked about last pod that Beatrice Haddad Maya might be a tricky one for Karolina Pliskova. Not the case. She rolled through 1-1. Absolutely brilliant performance from the Czech.
Yeah, it's very encouraging. She's obviously a rose to the number one ranking after Wimbledon last year. Has played, I would say, some solid tennis since then, but nothing spectacular. She'd played better previously to become world number one. So this is an encouraging performance. She was good, but not great in her first round. So this was, very handy. And obviously, maybe another not easy match next against her countrywoman, Lucy Safarova, but it's a match she should win. And based on her form in this match, yeah, she should, looking at this draw now, should certainly make the quarterfinal at least.
Yeah. I think, Safarova is going to be tricky. The lefty, that'll be definitely a intriguing match to see in the All-Czech Showdown. So moving on to another upset. This one on Rod Laver Arena last night. Su Wei-Shea takes out Garbiñe Muguruza in straight sets. So Shea had the early break in the opener. Muguruza brought it back, took it to a tiebreak, but Shea clearly outplayed her in the tiebreak. Shea had the break again, or a couple breaks in the second. Muguruza got one back, but the player from Taiwan played very well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Muguruza didn't come in with the best start, and I mean she did put a solid, if unspectacular, performance in the second round, but it's still a bit of a surprise. Shea doesn't really have the weapons to trouble Muguruza at her best, so there must be maybe still some injury concerns there. Obviously, Muguruza retired in Brisbane and then withdrew from midway through Sydney, so perhaps she's struggling a bit physically. I don't know, but it's still a big surprise, and it opens the door for other people in this bit of the draw.
Yeah, Shea now faces Radwanska, who looks like she's finding a bit of her form. Came back from a set down to defeat Lesia Sarenko, and then obviously the big talking point in this section of the draw is the bottom third round match between Angelique Kerber, who eased by Donna Vekic, and Maria Sharapova, who had a little trouble in the second set against Anastasia Sevastova, but still found a way to win. But that is obviously the huge talking point. Kerber Sharapova, third round showdown.
Yeah, it's a big. I mean, looking, obviously, we're going to discuss the next section in a minute, but looking at the quarter overall, you've got to back the winner of that one to probably make the semi-final. I mean, look at it. I mean, probably Radwanska in the fourth round, whoever wins it. Radwanska, like you said, has had a couple of good ones so far. Sarenko actually served for the match in that encounter, so she pulled through that one in the end, Radwanska. But yeah, I mean, I have Kerber making the semis, but it could be either her or Sharapova. It's a tough one to call.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to back them, one of them, reaching the last four now.
Oh, yeah, they're definitely one of the favorites to now reach it. I mean, Maria looked very good. I mean, her serve really dictates the rhythm of how she plays. So the first set, she was easing by with hitting a lot of first serves in, not catching ball tosses, things like that. And that's why it was such a dominant first set. And then in the second set, it was more of she had to readjust herself on the serve, catch the ball toss, gave Sevastova looks to break, which obviously happened in that set. So really, if Sharapova is going to push Kerber, she's going to have to really find that first set rhythm against Sevastova throughout the whole match.
Yeah, I mean, Kerber will go into that as a favourite because of how well she played this year. Obviously undefeated.
Yeah.
Only dropped a couple sets, done well so far. Good wins over Friedman and Vekic. And I think she's won there. I know they played at Wimbledon 2014 and Stuttgart in 2015. I'm pretty sure that's the last time they played each other. Kerber won both of them in 3 sets. So I think she's probably the slight favourite. But obviously, Sharapova, she's playing well. She has the bigger weapons. She might be able to break Kerber down. I think a lot of it, I mean, obviously, they're both great players, but a lot of it might come down to how Sharapova is playing.
Yeah, I agree. There. And then last part of the top half of the draw, Madison Keys rolls, and she'll face Anna Bogdan of Romania in the third round, and then Caroline Garcia just edges by Marketa Vondrousova, and she'll face Alexandra Sasnovich. So, who do you think gets out of here in a potential quarterfinal?
I think of everyone there, Keys has looked very impressive so far. Quite a few women came into this tournament under a little bit of a slump, and she's the only one who's really managed to turn that around. One game drop today, which is incredibly impressive. Certainly the favourite against Bogdan. Obviously, Garcia had a great end to last year, and Sasnovich had a great one in Brisbane, but she'd fancy her chances against either of them two, assuming she does beat Bogdan. Obviously before the tournament, I said Garcia, but I'm kind of edging towards Keys now if she continues to play like she has so far.
Yeah, and I think it's because of the heat, and due to the heat, the courts play a little faster, and Madison Keys plays very offensive tennis. That's why I feel like she was going to be one of the players who would find herself out of the slump, because Australia plays a lot faster, especially when it's as hot as it was so far in this tournament.
Absolutely. I mean, if the courts are playing fast, she's incredibly tricky to stop. I mean, a lot of it is down to her. She can obviously overhit the ball quite a lot.
Yeah.
Great so far. Obviously has to be the favourite against Bogdan. So yeah, good opportunity for her to go deep in another slam after, obviously reaching the final at the US Open. So reaching her semi-final here a couple of years ago, which was her breakthrough. So yeah, could go on a bit of a run. Now she's built some momentum.
Mm-hmm. And so now we move on to the bottom half of the women's draw. And top portion, the top bit of this is the seeds are absolutely gone. So Belinda Bencic could not back up her huge win over Venus Williams with a stunning loss to Luxika Kumkum of Thailand. Then we have, and Kumkum will now place Petra Martic for a spot in the fourth round, and that's going to be played on Rod Laver tonight, which is kind of a bit of a surprise, but obviously a great opportunity for both women. And then you recap this one, Dasha Gavrilova up 5-love, set points in the first, loses 7-5, 6-3 to Elise Mertens. And then probably one of the so far shockers of the tournament is Alizé Cornet. I know Cornet loves herself an upset, has defeated Serena a few times, especially obviously won back at Wimbledon a few years ago, but Gergis was the most informed player on tour, but then lost 6-4, 6-3 to Cornet.
Yeah, I mean, good. That's probably one of the more surprising ones, like you said. I mean, she's got to look at this and see like Elise Mertens in the first round, and then Kumkum and Master shut out. It's a big missed opportunity after having won 3 titles in a row. But saying that, there's now an opportunity for one of these 4 women. I mean, Petra Martic lost in the first round of the US Open last year, but before then, back-to-back second weeks at the French and Wimbledon, so she can obviously play well at the slams. And both straight sets wins so far. Elise Mertens as well, obviously come off the title of Hobart. Is due a slam run. She's got a couple of really nasty draws at slams. She had Venus Williams in the first round of Wimbledon, and Madison Keys at the first round of the US Open. Lost them both in tight matches, especially the US Open one. So I'm kind of thinking Mertens has a good shot at making the quarters, but I think Cornet is so hard to predict. You never know what you're going to get from her.
Oh yeah, I mean, Cornet is the big wild card per se. It's like if she's on, then she's probably going to be the one to make it out into the quarters here. If not, Mertens is definitely the favorite. They should the winner of that match definitely fancies their chance against the winner of Kumkum Martic.
I think especially if it's Kumkum, but then Kumkum comes through qualifying, has picked up 3 wins there, then 2 straight wins so far, and one against Bencic quite convincingly, so she'll be very confident against Martic. But it's to do with if the fatigue catches up, obviously it's going to meant to be even hotter tomorrow than it was today, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, we'll discuss that a little later. The heat of Australia. All right, so moving on, so more upsets on the card. So Zhang Shui, who defeated Sloane Stevens, now goes out to qualifier Denisa Alertova, and she'll play Magda Linette, who upset Dasha Kasatkina. So obviously another matchup of unseeded players who will get their shot at the fourth round. And then obviously tonight we'll have the all-Ukrainian showdown between Australian Open favorite Alina Svitolina, the fourth seed, and 15-year-old Marta Kostyuk.
Yeah, I mean, what we said about this Svitolina-Siniakova match proved to be correct when Svitolina wasn't being the proactive one. It was Siniakova took advantage and won that first set, and she deserved to win that first set. Once Svitolina became more aggressive, she was certainly the dominant player, and as you can see, final two sets, 6-2, 6-1. But this is a really nice draw for her. I mean, Kostyuk has an incredible run. She's such a good talent, but it's hard to see.
It's a great story. Great story.
Yeah. If you told Svitolina you'd reach the third round, you'd face a qualifier. And then in the fourth round, you could face another qualifier or, at worst, another unseeded player. And she would definitely have taken that. It would be a huge shock and I think a big disappointment for her. She doesn't make the quarters now.
Oh, forget the quarters, like even the semis now. Like she could face another qualifier if, say, Kumkum just makes makes the quarters, or it'll be or unseeded player. I mean, Mertens is definitely a danger, but she doesn't pose that, say, power threat that we talked about a couple podcasts ago that Svitolina can have trouble with.
Yeah, I completely didn't look at that top half. So yeah, no one seeded in her quarter apart from her.
Yeah, she's by far and away the favorite to make the semis now.
Yeah, I mean, she's never made a slam semi before. She hasn't always played that well at the slams. Have lost her that big hitter. Should have made the semi-final of the French Open last year, as you discussed previously. But if she doesn't do it now, it'd be a huge surprise. It's a massive opportunity for her.
Yeah. So next, the bottom half of this bottom part of the draw, Ostapenko slides by Duan Yingying in 3 sets. Will face Annette Kontaveit, who also got by in 3 sets. So a young-ish showdown, 20 years old versus 22 years old. So nice matchup there. And then Kaya Kanepi, man, what a story. She just continues to roll in slam. So obviously, great run at the U.S. Open. I believe it was the quarterfinals for Kanepi. Yeah, quarterfinals there. And then Alice Sibylkova, 24 seed. Monica Puig after that. And then now she'll have unseeded Carlos Suarez Navarro, who I think she'll definitely be the favorite against.
Yeah, she's always so dangerous to slam. She's reached quite a few Grand Slam quarterfinals. Obviously, was ranked outside the top 400 at the US Open, which is crazy. And obviously picked up a couple of bigs when they beat Kasatkina in the 4th round. So, yeah. I think the top one between Ostapenko and Kontaveit is quite interesting. Obviously, we know all about Ostapenko. Not an easy match in the 2nd round, which I don't think is that much of a surprise. We know Duan Yingying can be quite a tricky opponent. So, but it's interesting because Kontaveit didn't end last season well at all, but overall it was a solid year. So I think she could pose some dangers. They know each other quite well. They played doubles before. So it's an interesting section. It could be interesting for getting all the Estonian 4th round tie. Yeah. But I mean, but Carlos Suarez Navarro has also played well at slams before.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a tough one to call. I mean, Ostapenko has to be the favourite, but if she's not her best, Kontaveit could beat her, or Kanepi or Suarez Navarro could beat her. But I'm kind of edging towards Ostapenko, considering, she's a slam champion.
Yeah, she is, yeah.
Seed. I mean, Coco Van Rey's already out. So, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if she doesn't get through, but I think she has to be my pick.
Yeah. I think if I have to rank them from this part to get out to the quarter, it'd be Ostapenko 1A, then Kanepi 1B, because I think Kanepi can really take it to Ostapenko if they play. Not in a huge beatdown, but I think Ostapenko might have trouble dealing with someone who ball bashes as well as her. And then Suarez Navarro, then Kontaveit. Does it sound about right for how you'd rank it?
Yeah, I think I would say that. I think Ostapenko should get past Kontaveit, but I think Kanepi and Carlos Suarez Navarro are both dangerous for her. But I think because, like you said, Kanepi's another powerful player. I think she throws as the biggest threat. Suarez Navarro is a crafty, very intelligent player, but she can get hit off the court.
Yeah, as we've seen before, like against Serena and such.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's likely to be Ostapenko Kanepi fourth round, which could be very interesting. We'll have to see what happens there.
Yep, the all what is that? Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. What are they? What was that? The little forgot what it's called.
Baltic states.
Yeah. So we have an all Baltic third round showdown, and we're looking for the all Baltic fourth round showdown. There you go. Thank you. I forgot what it's called. All right, now we move on to the last section of the women's draw. So Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova ousted by Katerina Bondarenko in straights. But we still do have 3 seeds in the third round. Magdalena Rybarikova, the 19th seed, took out Flipkins in 3. Kiki Bertens took out Nicole Gibbs in straights, and then the near upset Wozniacki against Jana Fett of Croatia. Wozniacki was down in the opener, and I believe it was down 5-1 in the third.
Yeah, 5-1, 40-15. Fett had too much points. Wozniacki rallied to win. Yeah, I was really surprised to see that. I thought, obviously, Jana Fett's a young, talented player, looking for her to have a good performance, but not necessarily push her as much as that. So it's undoubtedly going to give Bertens a lot of hope. Bertens obviously had a very tough first round against Catherine Bellis, come through that. Came through Nicole Gibbs quite well as well, so she's going to be feeling confident. I think Wozniacki should probably still win that match, but kind of looking for her to have a much more assertive, controlled performance today. Or today is kind of
today.
Anyway, yeah. So yeah, it's to be interesting to see, because I don't think anyone was expecting that second round match to be as tight and obviously nearly out as it is.
Yeah, I mean,
good thing in the long term, like having come to a close end of fought back could give her a lot of confidence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Australia plays quick, which doesn't suit Wozniacki, so I think that's why she kind of had trouble against Fett, who was really finding good depth and solid power on her ground strokes. So, like, you could see Wozniacki well behind the baseline playing a lot of defense, which obviously we know Wozniacki does a lot, but it was more than we expected in that match.
Yeah, her and Svitolina are kind of similar. I think Svitolina's a more natural aggressor.
Yeah, definitely.
Wozniacki is able to do more when she's defending than Svitolina is, but obviously Wozniacki does thrive if she's able to come forward and use her forehand, which is something she will need to do if she wants to, win the title here. But yeah, she's through, which is the most important thing, though.
Yeah.
Both Lina and Kerber won the titles here after saving match points. So, and I mean, obviously Bondarenko or Barikova. That's a hard one to call because Bondarenko looking very good, but she should win that. Whoever that is against, assuming she beats Bertens.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens tonight for that bottom half of the women's draw. So we'll see how they fare tonight and who will be edging on one step closer to a potential Grand Slam title. And now we move on to the men, the top half, which they're playing today. So Nadal still looking good against Leonardo Meyer. He'll now face Damir Žumer, 28 seed. So you think Žumer will pose a test to Rafa?
I think he can. I don't think he's going to become massively close to beating Rafa. I mean, obviously Žumer ended last season very well. A final, made an ATP final, and 2 titles. So it could be Rafa's biggest test so far. He didn't have it massively easy against Meyer, but was mostly comfortable. It's going to be interesting to see. It's obviously Rafa's first seeded opponent, but I can't see him struggling a lot. Maybe Push maybe could make a couple of sets tight, maybe even take a set. But
Yeah.
it's hard to see Nadal not coming through.
This match is also going to be played at night at 7 p.m. in local time in Melbourne. So the obviously it's going to get a lot cooler, and that's going to help Nadal. Courts are going to slow down a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. It's worked out quite handy for him. Obviously, he's going to be on Margaret Court Arena, which I think Rod Laver plays maybe even at all the times a little bit faster than the other courts. So I think that helps Nadal as well. So yeah, I can't see him having I can't see an upset coming.
Yeah,
but you never know. Could be wrong.
I mean, you can't turn down Kyrgios Songa on Rod Laver, so you cannot put though. Though Djokovic and Monfils played damn Rod Laver, but apparently it was per the request of Novak. So yeah, those are the rumors floating around. So yeah, so we'll see about that. But yes, winner of Nadal Zoomer will play Schwartzman Dolgopolov in a. Nice to see the Argentine finding, I guess, a bit of form, I guess, and Dolgopolov as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously after 11-9 fifth set in the first round, Schwartzman 4-2 and 3 is very good, very comfortable. Dolgopolov looking very impressive, though, yet to drop a set. It's going to be a very tricky one. I'm kind of edging towards Dolgopolov here, and he is someone who could maybe trouble Nadal a little bit in the fourth round.
Yeah, they met at the fourth round at the U.S. Open too. So
yeah, I mean, Dolgopolov's so hard to tell. Nadal could blow him off court, but at the same time, he is someone who is potentially dangerous.
Yeah.
So to see. I mean, but obviously Schwartzman, obviously US Open quarter finalist, so he's obviously playing much better on hard than he used to. Probably one of the most improved players last year. So it's a tough one to call. I'm kind of edging towards Dolgopolov for that way.
Yeah. I had Dolgopolov get out of here, get out of this section of the draw. It was, yeah, it was going to be against Schwartzman that I had. So I do give the slightest edge to the Dolg, but really depends which Dolg shows up. But I think he's found a good balance between his hot and coldness.
In terms of his tournament, yes, but it's so hard to tell.
Yeah.
He's quite often plays really well, and then it's just completely blown off court.
I know he does have, I think, that sickness, that Gilbert syndrome, which causes fatigue. So obviously, when being a tennis player who travels, that plays into a huge factor in how he's going to play. But I think he's a couple rounds in. I think that won't be a factor anymore. Maybe unless the heat really kicks in.
Yeah, I think the heat's going to be the biggest problem for any players tomorrow. So you have to see what factor that plays.
Mm-hmm. Moving on, Pablo Carreño Busta defeats Gilles Simon. The Frenchman retires. The Frenchman did not look good at all in this match, but now Carreño Busta has a couple of wins under his belt after really poor runs of form after his U.S. Open semifinal, where he lost to Kevin Anderson. But he'll face Gilles Muller. So, and then winner of that will face the winner of Ryan Harrison and Marin Cilic. So, like I said, I thought Harrison would get a couple of wins, but depending on the mentality of Cilic, this could be Harrison's breakthrough.
Yeah, I mean, Cilic played well in the second round, very well. Joao Sousa's not necessarily an easy opponent. Cilic won 6-1, 7-5, 6-2, so quite a convincing victory. Harrison, as he came through against Pablo Cuevas, which is not a surprise because Cuevas isn't a great hardcourt player. Before the tournament, I had Harrison winning this match. I'm kind of edging towards Cilic now if he's able to play like he did against Sousa in the early stages against Pospisil. But it's hard. I think it's certainly a chance for Harrison. Absolutely.
And then your thoughts on Carreño Busta Muller. I know you had Muller getting to the quarters in this section of the draw.
Yeah, he had a very tough match today, 5 sets against Malik Jaziri. It's a hard one to call. I'm probably going to change this one slightly. I'm edging towards Carreño Busta now. But it wouldn't surprise me if middle one either.
Yeah, I mean, Korean Busta obviously 2 wins under his belt, and I think he'll be confident heading into this match against Muller. He'll have to. I think he'll fancy his chances on getting by and then maybe getting to a quarter here, which would be nice for him after such a horrible end to last year.
Yeah, absolutely be good to see him bounce back. I mean, he had some good performances at the Slams last year. Obviously, quarter-final at the French Open, but unfortunately had to retire and pull out of Wimbledon. And then semi-final at the US Open. So yeah, it'd be nice for him to go on another good run. I think he's probably the better hard court player of the two. I think he's better on clay, Miller's better on grass. Not much in between it on hard, but probably
Mm-hmm.
edges it a little bit. So I think the opportunity is there for him.
Yeah, very much so. And we move on, and big talking point here: Grigor Dimitrov, 5 sets with American qualifier, as we like to call him, Mackie or Mackenzie McDonald, 8-6 in the fifth. And boy, I think this is worry signs for Dimitrov as he'll face Rublev, who really took it to him at the U.S. Open last year.
Yeah, it was. I watched a lot of his match against McDonald. It was a very questionable sort of choice. I mean, fourth set bagel, 22 minutes against the world number 186 is not good.
It wasn't, yeah, and especially after he won the second and third set, it's not that quote unquote strategic bagel that Sock and Kyrgios throw in at times. This is you're 2 sets to 1 up. There's no reason to be strategic getting bageled in when you're a set away from victory.
Yeah, I'm not sure what was going on. I mean, often in the early stages of slams, like you saw it with Nadal at the US Open last year, obviously went on to win the title. You struggle early on in the match, you drop the first set, but then you bounce back, and that's what it looked like he'd done. And if you pulled through in 4 sets, maybe a little concern, but he made it through. It's fine. But yeah, that was just really bad. And then obviously got pushed to 8-6.
Yeah, McDonald had a point at 40-30 to make it 7-all. So this match could have been going on longer than 8-6.
Yeah, so I mean, if he plays like that, he's certainly not winning the title, and he's got a tricky match next. Obviously, Rublev, obviously, like we mentioned, beat him handily at the US Open, and obviously had very tough matches for Frere. Not an easy match against Baghdatis, but like 6-2 final set, the fourth set, as it were. So looking good. Maybe an opportunity for a slight upset here.
I have the upset here. I mean, Dimitrov was pretty worrying in, I believe it was Brisbane. I think if Edmund doesn't roll his ankle, I think Edmund beats him. But the serve didn't look like it was there compared to when he won the ATP finals. I think there's something going on.
Yeah, I think it could just be like a slight slump. It often happens after a good season. I think if Dimitrov plays as bizarrely as he did against McDonald, I think Rublev's in the real shout. So I think it's on Dimitrov. What can he bring?
Yeah. And then obviously we have Kyrgios Troitsky and a lot of wacky things that happened in that match. And and listening to some of the analysts, they feel like Kyrgios grew up a little, but in this match, but we do see that at times, but then he'll have his moments. But yes, we have the guy standing up, trying to take selfies, trying to get himself to go viral while Kyrgios is about to serve. We had, I believe the chair umpire was James Kiyothavong in that match. Yeah. So Kiyothavong had his mic shut off, I think, after Kyrgios won the game, and then Kyrgios went up to him, it was calmly, but he's like, this is the third time it's happened, like, what's going on? And then helicopter over the ground, so like a lot of wacky things that happened in this match.
Yeah, and obviously the bit in the tie prefers that tie break where Troitsky mishit a return and it whacked Kiyothavong right in the head. Much to the amusement of the crowd, but yeah, very solid performance by Kyrgios. Obviously, a slight little wobble at the end, failing to serve it out, but through both his matches in straight sets, very composed.
I think he looks fine. He looks fine.
Yeah,
so far.
Definitely the favourite against Tsonga. I think he should win that match.
Yeah. Speaking of Tsonga, I guess a Wozniacki-esque comeback for him because he they're on court at the same time, and Songa was down 2-5 to Shapovalov, who he lost to at the U.S. Open, so he avenged that loss. And tough loss for the Canadian of 5-2, and but good confidence builder for Songa. And I think against Kyrgios, it's going to be very, very hard hitting. I think Songa has a chance now.
I think Songa has a chance, but I think Kyrgios is the form player of the two. I think if he keeps his head, remains calm, I think he'll pull through maybe four tight sets, I'm thinking.
You're thinking Kyrgios is 4? I think this might go 5, but I think it won't go like a crazy 5, like 8-6 or like 10-8 or something. I think if Songa's going to win it, it has to be in less than 5. If it's going to go 5, it'll be Kyrgios. That's just my opinion.
It's a tough one to call because obviously they're both dangerous players.
Yeah.
I think that Kyrgios has a form swings it for me.
Form and then huge crowd backing. Even though he said he'd rather play on Hisense or one of the smaller stadium courts compared to Rod Laver, because obviously Rod Laver is so huge, you're not going to get the good atmosphere that you'll get on like the smaller courts. All right, and we move on now. Your countryman, Kyle Edmund, now is the favorite to get to a potential Australian Open quarterfinal. What a time.
Yeah, it really opened up. I mean, obviously, it's a big opportunity for him with any others in this section. Obviously, he plays Nikos Basilashvili. It's Andrea Seppi versus Ivo Karlovic, obviously seeing the same. I think, obviously, Karlovic's service is so difficult to break down, and I think he's the oldest man ever to reach the third round of the Australian Open, something like that. He's certainly broken some form of record with his win in terms of age. But I think Seppi's a dangerous one. He's played well at the Australian Open before, beat Federer a couple of years ago. He's had a couple of really tight matches with Kyrgios. I think won one, lost one, or something like that. I think he's a real danger. But I think Edmund should be able to come through. Played very well so far. Big win against Kevin Anderson, obviously. Nice win against Dennis Istomin. So I'm edging towards him, maybe beating Seppi in the fourth round.
Yeah, I think Seppi can definitely handle that Karlovic. I mean, Federer doesn't have the biggest serve, but he knows how to place it well. I think Seppi could pull off the upset, but I feel it'll be Edmund Karlovic, and since Edmund faced Anderson, another big server, I definitely am leaning that if Edmund and Karlovic meet in the fourth round, Edmund will know how to play against Karlovic, and then we'll make a quarterfinal, which would be huge for you Bretons.
It'd be, I mean, a lot of the younger players are having like breakthroughs at slams recently. It'd be nice for him to get one for sure. Like give him a lot of confidence, I think, for the coming season.
Yeah, I think this will be his big breakthrough year.
Yeah, he's going to obviously, because he's going to be leading in terms of the men's anyway, the British charge with Andy not playing. You see, he's going to be like the main figure for Al Davis Cup tie against Spain. So yeah, it could be good for him to get a very encouraging result early on in the season.
Quick note about Davis Cup. Will Dan Evans be back for that or not yet?
No, the first tie is in February. No, I think it's after the Australian Open. That week for the women have St. Petersburg and Taipei. I think it's
oh yeah. Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So no, his test came in the quarterfinal last year against France, which was in April. So no, he won't be back to April time.
Ooh, all right. So
we have, yeah, it'll be Edmund leading that for sure.
Yep. All right, bottom half. Dominic Thiem down 2 sets to love to Dennis Kudla, the qualifier, but he finds a way to get the victory, and a near upset, and a lot of talk on Twitter about they're like Thiem can be like such a world-class player if he wasn't such a baseliner. I mean, that's how he plays on clay, and that's how he wins on clay. But surely adjustments need to come soon because that was very worrying, this match.
I mean, yeah, because he shouldn't have found himself 2 sets down, but at the same time, he did manage to fight through in the end, which is something I don't think he would have done last year. Definitely not the year before, and probably not last year. So I think in terms of having the mentality to not feel like he'd already lost the match, especially after being probably should have winning that first set. So I think that's a big thing. I think his style of play on hard courts does need to be adapted, so he's not playing thinking it's like a clay court.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm obviously he should have won it easier, but I'm encouraged by the fact he was able to come from 2 sets down, didn't feel defeated. Obviously, Manarino next to 2016 not going to be easy, but if he comes through that, it'll be a nice 4th round match. So
yeah, and then a couple upsets on the bottom half right here, which you have. I had Verdasco making it out of this to the 4th round, and he goes down in 5 to Maximilian Martyr, and then the huge upset, Tennis Sandgren rolls Stan Wawrinka. I know Stan was very close to withdrawing, and this scoreline makes it seem like he should have.
I think it was just a little bit too early for him. I think the fact he's back in court is a good thing. Obviously, just wasn't ready for this match today. So I have to see what goes through next. Let's hope he comes back. But yeah, I mean, obviously we discussed Verdasco yesterday. You never know what's going to show with him. Often after a big win, he kind of stumbles a bit, and that happened again today. So yeah, interesting, big opportunity for Martyr or Sandgren. I think if you last either of them find yourself in the 3rd round against a fellow unseeded player, they'd have taken it straight away.
Yeah, I think Thiem's the huge favorite to get out of here now. He's made the 4th round last year, but not a quarterfinal. So
yeah, it's a huge opportunity for Martyr Sandgren to reach the 2nd week. But I think Thiem has to be looking at he needs to dial in a bit more. He should beat Manarino, should beat whoever faces in the 4th round.
Yep.
So he had to be looking at him.
All right, we'll move on. So we had a talk about the Heat, and Gael Monfils looked like he was absolutely exhausted after that 2nd set against Djokovic. Took the 1st, but then he had talks. He's like, I'm having heat sickness. Can we close the roof? Always doused himself with water on the changeover. I mean, what could have been an excellent match was overshadowed by this heat, which reached 105 Fahrenheit, and then on-court temperatures about 15 to 20 on average degrees hotter, but probably trending closer to about 30 yesterday. So nearing 140 on court temperature. That is not safe.
No, I think it's good because they definitely should have called the heat rule outside, and they probably will do it tomorrow. It's ridiculous, but I know the roof can't go over during a match unless it's raining in Australia, because none of the other majors obviously have that problem. Obviously, the French Open doesn't even have a roof yet. But I know there's an example that came up on Twitter, and I remember at the time the match that Maria Sharapova played. I can't remember. I think it was 2015 against Karin Knapp, where it was boiling and all the other matches were called off or whatever, postponed, but they had to keep playing. And the other match, on Hyacinth and Margaret Court, they had, I think they were playing on laver. The roof was over because they were still playing. They had to play out in the heat, and they went to 10-8 in the third, 3 hours and a half match, and they were suffering. So I think there's something they certainly need to look at, because it's not healthy for the players, which is obviously the main important thing, but it's also not healthy for the spectators or the ball kids or the umpire or the line judges or anything. Especially line judges and umpire stuff, obviously wearing trousers and stuff. It's dangerous for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, we look back to 2014, and obviously the heat rule was changed because of that year. They lowered down the temperature, just the air temperature, due to a lot of people complaining, a lot of retirements. They even had a ball boy collapse that year in a fan. So stunning to see that they didn't put it in place.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, it was boiling today. This was like the really big, um, hottest day so far, and it's meant to be hotter tomorrow, so it absolutely has to be used tomorrow, surely.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, Djokovic gets by. Not very convincing though. Ramos Vignolas next. What are your thoughts on that?
I think the match Djokovic should be fairly comfortable with. I mean, Ramos Vinolas, I mean, I had him losing in the first round. Not great off clay. Hasn't really done much since reaching the final in Monte Carlo last year. So I think Djokovic should be good. It's not. I just don't think it'll be much of a test as Monfils it was. I mean, obviously Monfils is dangerous, albeit having never beaten Djokovic before, but still dangerous. I think Djokovic should be fairly fine.
Yeah, I agree. Next up, Hyun Chung really took it to Daniil Medvedev, the ATP Sydney champion. First set tight breaker, but 1-1, and then Zverev once again not convincing. Dropped the third set. Looked really good in the first two sets, and then obviously very good in the fourth, but still not as convincing. So Chung could fancy an upset here.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of have to go with Zverev because obviously he's the number 4, the higher ranked player by far. But obviously, I think there is a chance for Chung here. Looks very good so far. I mean, albeit it was a retirement, but he's already knocked out one Zverev this tournament. So yeah, it could be interesting.
Yeah, I think if it's Zverev and Djokovic meet, which they should, who do you take from there? Do you take Novak? Because I think if Novak is still struggling to get first serves in, Zverev is going to be all over that.
I think potentially, but at the same time, Djokovic is a better slam performer, which you've seen.
Yes.
Zverev has not performed at the slams. So my instinct says Djokovic would win if he's able to pick up a good win. I mean, obviously that match has to happen yet. But my instinct is saying Djokovic to fight through. I think it'd be tight.
Yeah. All right, now closing out on this men's draw. So the big upset, Goffin goes out to Julian Benito, and Goffin led in the second set breaker. I believe also led 4-2 in the fourth set breaker, and just I think everything at the end of last year and obviously the Hopman Cup has finally caught up to him.
Yeah, I mean, that was a real surprise. I was really, when I woke up and saw that, I was really shocked. It was a very disappointing performance from Goffin. Huge win for Benito's final year, though. So he'll be over the moon with that.
So that means he's going to win now, right? The whole thing?
Opportunity against Fognini. I mean, Fognini, some 2 solid wins so far. Obviously, always unpredictable, especially off clay. But yeah, I think both men fancy their chances for that, and it'll be interesting. But obviously, the big tie is the Berdych Del Potro.
Oh yeah, ball crushing matchup. I mean, Del Potro slid by Khachanov 4 sets, and then same with Berdych. But nice to see Berdych finding a little form here.
Yeah, a couple of not easy wins, but good ones. Obviously, he lost in Doha. Surprisingly, he obviously had a bad 2017. But yeah, 2 encouraging wins. I think Del Potro will go in as the favourite. I think Del Potro probably should win. It's a big chance for him to make it out of this out of this section now. Though, yeah.
Yeah, the winner of this match is definitely the favorite to get by.
Yeah, I'm edging towards Del Potro. I don't think it'll be easy, but I think he has the better form of late. Obviously, 2 good wins so far. Obviously, tough one against Khachanov, but still still a nice win. Mm-hmm. And obviously, good win against TFO, run to the final in Auckland.
All right, and then the last bit of this draw. So Sam Querrey goes out to Martin Fucsovics. So the American exile continues in Australia. And then Lucas Lachko, who took out Milos Raonic, loses to Nicholas Kicker. Great name for tennis. So you have tennis and kicker both in the third round. So great for tennis that way. But really, Federer's just going to cruise by here. Gasquet next. It's going to be nice and easy for the defending champion.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't see either Querrey or Raonic providing him too much trouble in their current form, but because they're both out, I think Federer has to be a huge favourite to get through here. Lost twice to Gasquet in 18 meetings. Not sure if he's ever faced Kicker or Fucsovics, but obviously he'll be a massive favourite for that. You can't see them providing too much difficulty. So yeah, the draw's fallen very nicely for him.
Still believe Federer Nadal final?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you there. So before we leave, how are the brackets looking?
I actually managed to go up in both of them. I can't remember exactly. I'm not sure where was. I know for the women's one, I was 46th or something.
Yeah, you were a spot ahead of me.
I believe I have gone up a little bit. I've gone up to 37th.
Nice.
65 correct picks. The top person has 70. The ATP, I was 200 and something. I've gone up to 189th, so not doing as well as that, but still a slight improvement.
That's still very good. I went down in the men's, but not too far. I went from 47 to 258, 75 points, so just 8 points behind the leader. And then women's slid up about 20 spots to 252, 11 points behind the leader. I have 75, they have 86. But looking at it, I believe I have 2 quarterfinalists out now, Gerges and Coco Vandeweghe. So it stings a little there. And then
I have them both out as well. I think all the rest of them are still in.
And then for my men quarterfinalist, I had Anderson. So huge for me. The Tsonga match, I have Tsonga getting to the semis here. So. And then, I had Monfils defeating Novak. That'll sting.
You had Monfils defeating Novak?
Yeah.
I thought you had Novak winning the title.
Yeah, but that was for my picks here, not for my brackets.
Monfils is, I think, love 14 or love 15 now against Novak.
Yeah, if the Heat didn't play a factor, I think he wins.
Really?
I think so.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Trying to think. So I think I only have Anderson out. Oh no, yeah, Anderson out for the men. Oh no, Goffin obviously as well.
Oh yeah,
Anderson and Goffin. The others are still.
Yeah, it hasn't tallied the Goffin loss yet.
I have so I have 2 out on each side, which is not that bad. So I'd have 6 still through in the third round.
Yeah, I have 6 through. 6 of my quarterfinalists still through as well. All right, everyone. So, Oliver, where can we find you on Twitter?
At OliverDJ1998.
You can find me at NotFirstNoel. You can find the podcast Twitter at On The Line Pod. And we'd like to also give out a shout out to our new sponsor, Tennis Plaza. For all your tennis needs, go to tennisplaza.com. So we are the On The Line podcast. We'll be back in a couple of days to discuss the third round happenings. Maybe it'll be as fun as the second round. Maybe it won't. We'll find out. We hope you'll have a very good day.